The LouieTeeNetwork is powered by MusicHead University. MusicHeads, classes in session. Turn me up. Enroll on YouTube now. Link is in the description.
Who else could it be but me, your man, Louie T? Welcome to the Command Post Live. You know what it is. Post up. Take command. Of course, I'm your Commander-in-Chief, Louie T. Thank you for joining me. So, got a couple of items that I want to knock down before we get to the main topic that I wanted to discuss today, which is running back Jacory Croskey-Merritt, a.k.a. Bill. Bill Mania is spreading all across the land. It's spreading across this fan base, even reaching outside of it. Fantasy football owners are being notified that, hey, this is a guy, like when they start talking sleepers, here's a guy you want to throw on the back end of your roster. This guy could be a factor for the Commanders of the upcoming season. So this is a guy we're really excited about. I want to talk about that a little bit more in today's video. But before we get to that, I'm going to be 110% transparent with y'all because y'all family. So I'm gonna be honest with y'all. Terry McLaurin today was named 52nd overall in the NFL top 100s list for 2025 and or 2024. So normally I don't really give a shit about the top 20, top 100 lists because honestly, it is what it is. Like these players, a lot of times they don't know what the hell's going on, but they ask random dudes. I know you've seen some of the videos. They ask random dudes. Like for Terry, they were talking to the Cavante Turpin of the Cowboys. Like that's random as hell, right? But nonetheless, the Commanders Kings were debating just a week ago or so about whether Terry would be on a list or not. And we all said he's going to be on the list. Bro was on the list last year. There's no way he just was an all-pro and was better than he was the year before and came off of one of the best seasons of his career. There's no way he's not going to be on the list. He ended up being on the list at 52. And there's a video that always accompanies each entry into the list. And Terry was no different. There's about a 3.5 minute video that usually accompanies every entry into the list. And I always check them out that have to do with the Commanders. So I clicked on the video and I ain't gonna front. I was in my feels. I watched the video. I'm watching Terry make plays. I'm watching him talk his shit. I'm watching him give his speeches. I'm watching the adulation that his teammates have for him, the connection he has with Jaden Daniels. And I'm like, this is our guy, man. This is our guy. Nobody else's. This is homegrown. We always talk about how we don't have any players that are just ours, right? Like most of the guys we get that are really good, they come from somewhere else. And we latch on to them here, but they didn't start their career here. We're talking about Santana Moss going into the Ring of Fame. The vast majority of his career was spent here. The years that matter were spent here. But he wasn't drafted here. He was drafted by the Jets. We talk about London Fletcher. All these players that work for the team, for the most part, like guys that we remember very fondly, a lot of them weren't drafted here. Whether it's Clinton Portis, Santana Moss, London Fletcher, like those guys didn't get drafted here. Bobby Wagner, we love him. He wasn't drafted here. Frankie Louvu, we love him. He wasn't drafted here. We can keep going down the list. All the veterans that are here that are making a huge difference on this roster, not homegrown product. Terry McLaurin is homegrown product. He belongs here. He should be here. And I'm not gonna lie to you, when I watched that video, it was all of these emotions like, Man, they got to sign my mans up, bro. Like, this shit's got to stop. Anyway, I digress. I just had to share that with y'all, man. The Commanders did make a move today. This is from Grant Paulson over at 1067, The Fan. He says, source, the Commanders are signing wide receiver Braylon Sanders. It's crazy because Ed had just brought up Braylon Sanders to us not too long ago. We laughed at him like we always do because it's a former Defenders receiver. So we always, anytime Ed brings up anything that has to do with the Defenders, we point and laugh, right? So anyhow, Sanders, 26 years old, averaged 25 yards per catch for the Defenders this past season. He caught 2 passes for 17 yards with the Dolphins in his only NFL action back in 2022. He spent time on the Patriots practice squad in 2024. So the only reason Ed brought him up is because the Commanders brought him in for a workout, I'd say about a week ago. And they didn't sign anyone from the workout, I don't believe, but he was one of the guys that were there. So Ed sent us a clip of Braylon Sanders having like 3 touchdown catches in a bowl game in 2022 against Notre Dame or something like that. We laughed at him, right? And I'm still laughing at him. Like, Braylon Sanders isn't making this team. He doesn't factor into the equation. Of course, as I've said to you a million times, everything that happens now is a referendum on Terry McLaurin, or it somehow is connected back to Terry McLaurin. So, of course, everyone starts going nuts because we know about what happened last night with Terry and him requesting a trade. And now the next day, they're signing Braylon Sanders. So everybody's like, hey, wait a minute. Are you trying to tell us something? And, you know, all the beat reporters are like, y'all sit down and shut up. Damn. Y'all doing too much now. Like Terry's so-called friend on social media. Y'all doing too much. Sit down and shut up. This has nothing to do. The two are not related. I don't necessarily disagree with that. I don't think this move has, because you're not replacing Terry McLaurin with Braylon Sanders, right? Like, these two moves are mutually exclusive. They have nothing to do with each other. However, my question is, and I think this is a valid question, unless I missed something, where the hell did you get the roster spot? Whose roster spot is Braylon Sanders filling? That's what I want to know. I'm not here to tell you that he's taking Terry McLaurin's spot on the roster, or they're bringing him in as a Terry replacement or some bullshit like that, because we know that's not the truth. If that were the case, they would have brought in some veteran receiver with chops that has experience that would be able to help this team right now. That's not what this is. This is another camp body. But if you're adding a camp body, you have to get rid of somebody. And so my question, because unless I missed something and there's already been a move, a transaction, we already were at 90. Nate Herbig retired. They brought in Lucas Niang. Like, we were back at 90. Tim McKay has been brought off of the non-injury football list. We're at 90. Guys that are on the PUP list count towards your 90. So, again, if they're signing someone, whose spot are they taking? That's all I'm asking. And again, it'll probably be someone insignificant, someone at the back end of the roster at the running back position, as we saw with our guy, my guy, Michael Wiley, or some guy at the back end of the receiver position that's not cutting it. You know, Michael Strand or someone like that they want to move on from. Whatever. I'm just saying. Whose spot is he taking? Anyway, I digress. Speaking of which, doing too much. I don't know if that guy is Terry's friend or not. Like, he took a picture with Terry like 6 years ago, posted it on his social media, pinned it to the top of his page, and we're supposed to think that they're like best buds or something. Cool. They might be. Like, he may talk to Terry every day. But what are we doing if that guy's legitimately his friend, what are we doing? Like, are we clout chasing that hard that we out here talking numbers and giving out sensitive information and then talking shit about the team like as if that's going to help facilitate a deal? Like, again, I don't really know if he's his, best friend or not. I think that shit might be cap, but whatever. Dude look like he slid in the photo. And again, if he is his friend, he's not doing his friend any favors. Shit's stupid to me, but I digress. Let's talk about why we're actually here, why we are excited as a fan base. And that's our guy, Bill. Jacory Croskey-Merritt was someone that I think a lot of us towards the back end of the draft process got excited about. The team was interested. We knew they were interested. He had a visit with the team, which put him on all of our radars. We started doing homework. We found out about his story. We looked at his tape and we were like, this shit is impressive. He wasn't invited to the combine because of what transpired his final year in the collegiate ranks, where he only played in one game and then was deemed ineligible by the NCAA because he had run out of eligibility to play football. Sounded bogus, but whatever. It limited him to one game, hence really eliminated him from most of the big postseason, showings. He was at the East-West Shrine game, won MVP of that, and we were excited. And that was one of those guys that felt like an option at the back end of the draft if you didn't already take care of the issue in the first or the second or the fourth round. Once you got past the fourth round, it felt like, probably going to be a little bit dicey, but we had an ace in our back pocket, and that ace was Jacory Croskey-Merritt. Now, a lot of us thought there's no way he's going to make it to the 7th round. Someone's going to see the talent. They're going to see what this kid is capable of, understand the situation, and he's going to get picked in the 5th round or the 6th round. But he ultimately was there for us in the 7th, and it was a blessing, and we were excited. I've never seen this fan base more excited for a 7th round pick than Bill. We were enamored with the story. We were enamored with him being called Bill. We were enamored with his ability to come in here and do something that this team has lacked and bring something to the table that this team has lacked for quite some time at that particular position, the running back position, and that's speed. A lot of people view him as the running back of the future here in Washington. Count me in as one of them. However, I think he can have an impact in his rookie season. And I liken it now, it's a difficult situation because if there were no Austin Eckler here, I could easily sell you on this is a Detroit Lions watered down, great value version of Sonic and Knuckles. Brian Robinson Jr. obviously being Sonic, David Montgomery, Knuckles, David Montgomery, and Jacory Croskey-Merritt filling the Jahmyr Gibbs Sonic role, right? Now, obviously, he's not Jahmyr Gibbs. Let's not act crazy. And Brian Robinson Jr., to a lesser degree, isn't David Montgomery. He's not as natural a runner, but if you look at their numbers, they're very similar. If Brian Robinson Jr. has 1,000 yards this year, he'd be trending towards being on the same trajectory wave as David Montgomery from a statistical standpoint. Like, David Montgomery's only had 2,000-yard seasons in his career. It's not like he's out here lighting it up. So Brian Robinson Jr., if he stays healthy, which has been the reason why he hasn't eclipsed 1,000 yards, in his career to this point, if he stays healthy, he's probably going to hit 1,000 yards. He can be that hammer. He can be the physical half of a backfield duo that features thunder and lightning. And I really think Jacory Croskey-Merritt can be the other half of that backfield. Now, again, Austin Eckler stands in the way. because Eck right now is still a veteran that is respected, that has earned the right to continue to play. He was really good for us last year, and he's going to continue to be that as long as he's healthy and on the field. He's going to get opportunities to touch the football. So again, how many of those touches can you put aside for Bill? Don't know the answer to that. That's the million-dollar question. And what happens the remainder of training camp? But he's already had a fantastic training camp, and we'll talk about some of the quotes and some of the things that people who have been out at the park have been saying, some of the reaction to him. There's so much more out there about Bill and what he's done. But the question is, how well does he fare in the preseason? Because everything right now points to him potentially being the X factor of an offense that is going to be faster this year. There's no doubt about it. Assuming Terry McLaurin is back in the fold, and I am going to assume that. My fandom won't let me not include Terry McLaurin in this offense and in the discussion. But assuming that Terry is in this lineup where he belongs, you've added Deebo Samuel, you've added Jalen Lane, and you add a guy like Jacory Croskey-Merritt to an offense that features a quarterback that's one of the fastest in the league as well. And all of a sudden, you have the makings of a very dynamic offense. I'm really interested to see what happens with Jacory Croskey-Merritt in the preseason, what he does in the joint practices this upcoming week against the Patriots. It's going to go a long way in determining how much he's on the field, because guys like him with the talent that he possesses, you can't keep them off the field. Even if you feel like you've got a couple of veterans in front of him, he's too talented to keep off the football field. And at some point, he's going to make his way into the lineup. And if he does the things that we think he's capable of doing, he's not coming off the field. So let's look at some of these clippings, if you will, from X that I've put together of things that people have said, they've acknowledged about Bill this camp and this summer. We've seen guys talk about him. We've heard guys talk about him, whether it's DQ, whether it's Jaden yesterday at the podium. There's a buzz surrounding Jacory Croskey-Merritt. There's a buzz that is really starting to permeate around Bill. The Bill mania is real. The talent is real. And I'm hearing that he's catching the ball out of the backfield. His pass protection is getting better each and every single day. If he can pass protect, there is a path to him getting on the field sooner, much sooner, rather than later. So I'll start at the bottom and work my way up. Zach Selby, who writes for the Commanders on their team website, wrote, really like Jacory Croskey-Merritt's change of direction and quickness. He just had a really nice run up the middle that saw him weave through defenders for a decent gain. We've seen evidence of this as a fan base. The play that he had with Tyler Owens, where he and DQ made mention of this, 2 quick jump cuts. I mean, lightning quick. If you blink, you missed them. Bap, bap. We ain't seen the likes of that here. Man. Clinton had the ability to jump cut. He just couldn't pick his feet up. The turf monster would get Clinton, it seemed like, at every turn. But Clinton had the ability to jump cut. But not like this. It feels different. The Denver Clinton Portis had this ability to jump cut. The Denver Clinton Portis did. The one that didn't put on 10 to 12 pounds of muscle to withstand the punishment that Joe Gibbs was about to put on his body. The Clinton Portis we got from Mike Shanahan could do it, for sure. Lionel Willingham writes, Bill Merritt, and again, I can't stress this enough. It's just Bill. Not Bill Merritt. Not Bill Croskey-Merritt. It's just Bill continuing to just make plays. Had my doubts about his speed, but it's real. No wasted movement. That's something else that DQ talked about. There's no wasted movement. He gets north and south, no hesitation, hits the hole, and explodes through, as we saw in the Tyler Owens play. Lionel Willingham continues. Bill just ripped off another big run off the left side. That was the big run that I talked about the other day at practice. Yesterday at practice. Ben Stanek writes, Buzzy, rookie, Jacory Croskey-Merritt's violent run honored pad day, which DQ talked about showing it to the rest of the team as an example of how they want to get down at practice. When the pads are on, this is the kind of contact we're looking for. We're not out here trying to hurt anybody. The running back sees the defender sees the running back. Lower the shoulder, don't take him to the ground, but we want to hear the thud. Tyler Owens played the role of hard-hitting foil. Together, they gave Dan Quinn a teachable moment in the Commanders training camp, its loudest thwack. It was a big one, and we saw the evidence of that. The two jump cuts in the hole that were just crisp and clean and lightning fast. The ability to run through an arm tackle as he made his way to the second level where Tyler Owens awaited him, lowered his shoulder, took a wallop from Owens, kept his feet, kept his balance, and continued to finish the play. The thing that DQ and all of us want to see, and I have no doubts because of what I've seen on tape with him, is does he have the contact balance? You know how important contact balance is to me as someone who likes to evaluate running backs. You know how important contact balance is to me. He has contact balance. Tremendous contact balance. I think I had him with like the third or fourth best contact balance in the draft. Only behind Genty, who was, it felt like miles ahead of everyone else. Cam Scatterbo, Devin Neal, and then our guy. Contact balance is so important. Then you add in the speed element and the quickness and the ability to make guys miss. We could have ourselves something here. It feels like we've got something here. And then this was my favorite one, right? John Keim had a post roughly a week ago referencing Bill. John Keim wrote, Quinn and any coach will say it's hard to tell about running backs until they get the pads on, which we all know to be true because you can look great in t-shirt and shorts. What happens when the pads go on and the real football begins? That's where we're about to find out with Bill this upcoming week. Or next week, I should say. He said, but this is what he said jumps out early about Jacory Croskey-Merritt. Quote, this is DK quoting. It's the violence of his cuts that he can get his shoulders square and get downhill fast. Again, something that has plagued us, the running back position, is the ability for guys to make quick decisions, quick cuts, and get up the field. Seems like a lot of hesitation. I talk about Brian Robinson Jr. all the time and how it's so important for him to square his shoulders and get downhill. When he's running laterally, it's a problem because he's not a one cut and go back. He's not a, oh, I'm a press, stick my foot in the ground and then get up the field. Brian Robinson Jr. is best in a gap scheme. He's best when he's getting right up the field. No hesitation because he wants to get north and south. Once he gets ahead of steam, as we know, he's a load to deal with. He's tough to get down on the ground. There's usually yards after contact with Brian Robinson if he can get downhill. He needs a runway, though. Running laterally, side to side, is not his thing. Jacory Croskey-Merritt, however, on the other hand, is able to stick his foot in the ground, make a violent cut, Square his shoulders to the line of scrimmage and get downhill. He can make someone miss in a phone booth in tight, confined spaces. That's what we're looking for. That's what we haven't had. That's what we've lacked here in Washington, is a dynamic back that has the ability to make somebody miss, BYOB, be your own blocker, and accelerate to the second level and be a threat at the third level. Jacory Croskey-Merritt brings all of those traits to the table. To which Louis Riddick just smiled. He then added to this comment, no kidding. He's confirming what I said about the kid on draft night. Those who know about Bill. And Bill is so motivated. He's so motivated. He's like, I'm going to prove everybody wrong. I'm going to prove this staff right. He won it all. He's like, I'm going to show everybody. I believe the kid too. I believe that he wants to come in his rookie season and blow this shit all to smithereens. Change the game entirely at the running back position. Do you know how valuable that could be for this offense if we have a guy in the backfield that poses a threat equal to or greater than that of Jaden Daniels? Because right now we don't. If I'm a defense, I don't want Jaden keeping the football on read option. Let Brian Robinson Jr. or Austin Eckler keep that shit. I catch them. They shouldn't score. The safety has the angle. We good, right? I don't want Jaden keeping that shit with a runway and space and opportunity. That could turn into a 60-yard touchdown. I'm not interested in that. Let one of those 4.5, 4.6 dudes tote the rock. You put another 4.4 guy back there next to Jaden all of a sudden with quicks, the ability to make people miss, and the ability to hit the home run, and all of a sudden you have a tough decision to make, or as I like to call them, you got a TD to make. You got a TD to make. Do I really want the ball in the hands of the running back? Because if I'm playing the Philadelphia Eagles, Jalen Hurts and Saquon Barkley are very dangerous back there. But the lesser of the two evils is Jalen Hurts. I'd rather him keep the football than let Saquon Barkley get it, make somebody miss, and oh shit, here we go, off to the races. Right now, if you're playing the Ravens, you much rather Lamar Jackson give that ball to Derrick Henry and take your chances stopping Derrick Henry than Lamar keeping it with a runway and space to operate, because the shit could get ugly quick, fast, and in a hurry. But at least there's a guy back there that you feel threatened by. And if he gives it to him, oh shit, here we go. We may actually have one of those guys too. And damn it, that feels great to say. Bill Mania, the shit is real. There's a real, palpable groundswell that you can feel. Like, I can't tell you the last time I've seen a team, a fan base rather, this excited for a non-day one or day two selection. We can't wait to see this man on the field. I'll be front and center preseason game 1 versus the Patriots just to see what 32 does. And I know you will as well. Because he has the chance of all the rookies that were taken on day 3. And Jalen Lane also seems like a guy that can really help this offense and can be a difference maker this year with his speed and his playmaking ability. But of all the day 3 guys, and they only took 3 guys on day 3. I don't want to make it seem like there were 6 selections made on day 3. But of all the day 3 guys, the one that feels like he could have the biggest immediate impact is Jacory Croskey-Merritt. Because if he's playing the running back position and he's touching it 7 to 10 times a game, and again, we don't know what that looks like early in the season. I expect, I can't speak for any of you, I expect it to start slow because Brian Robinson Jr. is your lead back, and he's going to be your lead back, and he should be your lead back, contrary to some of your beliefs. Austin Eckler was an all-pro last year, albeit on special teams. He was an all-pro last year, and he played damn good football for us when he was healthy. Caught it out of the backfield well, pass protected well, ran it well when given the opportunity with space in front of him, converted some fourth downs for us. Austin Eckler was huge. But neither one of them possessed the traits, the ability to hit the home run. Neither one of them bring what Bill brings to the table. So the excitement level for what he could potentially be and bring to this offense, it's exceptional. And it's got a lot of people intrigued, and not just people within the fan base, those who cover the team, the coaching staff, everyone that's involved. They're not the only ones intrigued by this kid. I'm seeing fantasy football outlets covering Bill and saying, hey, you might want to draft and stash this kid. He could come in handy. He could win you your fantasy football league this year. He won't be on anybody's radar, but we're telling you that Brian Robinson Jr. gets hurt every year. Eckler is old, and he's no bell cow. This kid could be the biggest beneficiary of a aging backfield in Washington. I'm not saying, I'm just saying, Bill Mania is real. I'm looking forward to it. So, with that said, I saw Adam Schefter just put something out. So, for those of you in the dark about the Micah Parsons situation, there was a post earlier by Diana Rossini, and the post read this, and I'll read you the post from Diana Rossini. It said, breaking. The Micah Parsons Cowboys relationship has deteriorated to the point where the star pass rusher is considering drastic measures, which could include a trade request or even a declaration that he is severing his relationship with the team, per multiple league sources familiar with the situation. The two sides remain far apart heading into the second week of training camp and are not currently negotiating. This is a classic Jerry Jones tactic. Jerry took the shit to another level, though, when he started talking shit about one of Micah Parsons' best friends on the team, Trayvon Diggs, almost regretting giving Diggs the deal because he got hurt, talking shit about Dak Prescott because he got hurt, and then basically saying we got to assess the situation. Michael missed games last year and didn't even have the right amount of games that Michael missed last season, right? I mean, when you hear that as a player, what are you supposed to think? So, to that, I posted out, I said, welcome to the club. We saved a seat for you. And it's the Homer Simpson gif of him patting the chair. Him and Bart sitting on the couch watching TV in the dark. And Adam Schefter just posted this on X 5 minutes ago. Okay, 20 minutes ago. Micah Parsons posted on social media that he wants to be traded from the Dallas Cowboys. Again, much like our situation, he's not going anywhere. And much like our situation, he doesn't have any leverage, none whatsoever. He's going into the final year of his rookie contract, if I'm not mistaken, which means that he's under contract. They're going to franchise tag him, more likely than not, after this season. Unlike Terry's situation, where Terry's older, right? He'll be 30 this year. Micah Parsons is in the prime of his career. He's going into the prime of his career. He's just scratching the surface. He's got Hall of Fame level talent, okay? he's already done things that no other player has done in NFL history. Or if it's not no player in NFL history, very few have done in NFL history. So what I'm essentially telling you, and let me look at his statistics, because let me make sure I'm accurate with what I'm telling y'all. Yeah, so he's going into year 5. So this is the final year of his deal. No player, and I don't think any player in NFL history, maybe if there is a group, it's a very select group that may only have 1 or 2 members, Micah Parsons being one of them, to start their NFL career with 12 or more sacks in their first 4 seasons. I can't imagine that there are very many guys that have done that. Come out of the gates, first season as a rookie, and get you 13, and then they just keep doing this shit every year, basically. We've seen guys start slow, 7.5, and 7.5 isn't slow in your rookie season, but for some of these guys like Myles Garrett, that's slow. That's a slow year. That's slow work, right? But most of the time, guys come out 4 sacks, 4.5, 5, 5.5, 7, 7.5. This man jumped out of the gates 13. Then proceeded to have 15, 13.5, 14, and 12 last year. And keep in mind, he had 12 sacks last year, and he missed like 4 games, I believe, last season. So you do the math. They're not trading him, is what I'm telling you. But he's pissed off, and he's frustrated. And I get it. The Cowboys conduct business in an archaic way that is not conducive to being friendly to its players. And then Jerry Jones goes on a tirade at a press conference at training camp and talks shit about his players. I mean, who wants to be a part of an environment like that? I would say that I feel for him, but I don't. That's the team that drafted you, and it's one of our worst enemies. I don't feel bad, but he's not getting traded. He's not going anywhere. Cowboys aren't. Now, Jerry has said some really crazy shit over the last 2 years when it pertains to Micah Parsons. He's even insinuated that that's not out of the realm of possibility, that they would listen. Even his son has said some really sketchy shit when it comes to Micah. They've been very they've been really weird when talking about Micah Parsons. Almost like you're having to decipher some of the shit that they're saying. It's almost like they're talking in code. I wouldn't be shocked if they got floored and like absolutely blown away and they traded him. Not now, of course. I'm talking about in the offseason. Let's say they franchise tag him and then somebody, because you're more likely to see a trade take place in the offseason than you are, because you can replace him. You can go out and draft a guy. You can, do some things if you trade in the offseason. You're not trading Micah Parsons right now because you're not, same thing, the same boat that we're in. You're not going to get value that's going to help you win right now. And that's the problem. Jerry Jones is old as shit. He's not looking to waste a season, right, on not having Micah Parsons and not having a chance to win. Jerry Jones might not be alive next year. Like, I can't trade Micah Parsons away thinking about next year. I got to win now. He's not trading Micah Parsons. We got to keep Jerry alive as long as we can. Also, like, long live Jerry Jones. It's like we always say, protect Jerry at all costs. But they're not trading Micah Parsons. Not now, at least. You get to the offseason and somebody's crazy enough to give you, 2 or 3 first-round picks. Dallas is probably listening. It's more than 2 for a guy of his caliber at a premium position like edge rusher. And again, you don't see guys of his stature changing teams at this juncture of his career. When a guy that has the talent of a Micah Parsons leaves the team that draft them, it's usually after they've gotten to that 31, 32-year-old mark where they're past their prime. That's when you see them change teams, if they change teams at all. But rarely do you see a guy, which is why it was crazy to see Lamar available. He was on a tag that no team was going to, which was crazy because the Ravens were going to match whatever happened, right? Somebody put an offer sheet out there. They would have had to give up 2 first-round picks. The Ravens were just going to match it. They just didn't want to overpay for Lamar, but they were going to match it. You know, they were dangling him out there to see if someone was going to pay and what the number was, and they were going to have to match it. But nobody was giving up 2 first-round picks for Lamar, which is crazy because that's 2-time MVP, should have been 3-time MVP. But I guarantee you somebody will give up 2 first-round picks for Micah Parsons in a heartbeat. I think it should be more than that. I was saying that it would cost you 3 first-round picks to get Myles Garrett. But you got to look at his age. He's different. This is different. This is prime Micah Parsons. Dallas isn't giving him up, though. So it's going to be fun to watch that whole situation implode over there because he's not happy. Jerry's talking shit. And Jerry's been talking shit about Dak for years. For years. Remember when Dak got hurt and he was talking about Cooper Rush? Like, I don't know. Maybe Cooper Rush could be the starting quarterback of this team. Like, Jerry Jones just be saying anything. So, ultimately, 2 teams in the division have quite the quandary on their hands with well-respected players within their locker rooms that are top 60 players. Terry's 52 on the list, and Micah Parsons is probably top 15, top 20 in the league. Easy. Top 20 for sure. This is crazy. This is craziness that we're having this discussion. If anybody should have gotten their bag already, it's Micah Parsons. Like, the guys that usually have a hold up in getting paid are the older guys, the guys that are pushing 30. TJ Watt, the reason it took so long is because TJ Watt is older than 30. He's on the wrong side of 30. That's why it took so long. But the Steelers understand we can't bullshit with one of the best players in franchise history. We can't do it. You would think the Cowboys would get the memo with a guy that is like, is Micah Parsons even 25? I'm going to guess that Micah Parsons is 25. He's 26 years old. He just turned 26 in May. I mean, what are we talking about here? God is 26 years old, going into the prime of his career. And he plays one of those positions where, much like Von Miller, we have Von this year, and I wouldn't be shocked if Von goes off and has 11 sacks this year. If you got that kind of talent at that position, that shit just doesn't go away when you turn 31 or 32. You're going to be good for a very long time. You're going to be able to rush the passer when you're 34, 35 years old. Go look at any pass rusher that has over 100 sacks. Look at how long they played in the NFL. It's usually like 12, 13, 14 years. Why? Because Von Miller said, I can roll out of bed at 35 years old and rush the passer in my house shoes and still get after the passer. Like, bro, that shit don't just go away. Like, the Cowboys aren't dumb. I always say this. They do a lot of reckless shit. And Jerry Jones is an idiot when it comes to contract negotiations. He is one of the most stubborn and egotistical owners that exist in the NFL. He's also brilliant when it comes to, making this league money. That's why he's in the Hall of Fame. He was one of the guys at the forefront of taking the NFL to the next level. But make no mistake about it. You can say everything you want. Jerry Jones is crazy. Jerry Jones is stubborn. Jerry Jones is egotistical. One thing Jerry Jones is not is stupid. He does a lot of shit. And I say it all the time. One thing Jerry Jones is not is dumb. He's ignorant when it comes to certain situations, and he's stubborn because he knows the economics of waiting to play a player. It's stupid to wait. Doesn't benefit you any to wait. The price only goes up. But anyway, that's not our problem.
And for all of you saying, hey, we should trade for him, I'd love to. But the Cowboys aren't trading him. We got our own issues to worry about. We need to take care of our guy. Shit. I'm sick of this whole Terry situation. I can't even enjoy the fact that we're about to be back at RFK permanently. I can't even enjoy that shit. I don't even care about the RFK vote right now. I don't even care. I should be more excited about it. I don't care. I just want Terry to sign so we can get this shit behind us. Anyway, I digress. Real quick, wanted to go ahead and plug the Commanders Kings live event, August 24th, the day after the final preseason game versus the Baltimore Ravens. We will be live breaking down our projections for the 53-man roster. We'll break down the season, go through each game, and give you a prediction for each game, which will ultimately lead to our total predictions for the season. We'll have a toast to the season and so much more. Can't wait to meet all of you that are going to be in attendance. Tickets are going fast. Tickets are $45. Only 150 tickets exist, and I'm here to tell you, over 80 tickets have already been sold. So they're going fast. Less than half of the tickets remain. If you want to be a part of this event, what are you waiting on? And as Rico said, ain't nothing like the first time. Like, this is the first time the Kings are getting together in a live setting. Hell, this is the first time I've met any of them. The chemistry is already crazy on screen with us. I can't imagine what that chemistry is going to be like in person. It's going to be a hell of a time, and you want to be a part of it. August 24th at Crystal City Sports Pub in Arlington, Virginia. Tickets are $45. Doors open at 5 o'clock. We get started shortly before 6, and we're going to turn up and have us a time. Music, we're going to have a DJ there. We're going to have us a time. We're going to have a lot of fun. You might even get an appearance. I doubt it. But you might even get an appearance from LouieTeeNetwork. You might even get an appearance from him. I doubt that, seriously. So, what y'all waiting on? Make it happen. Mods, if you're out there, do me a huge solid and drop that link in the comment section of this video. And I already have it in the description of this video, and I may go back and pin it to the comment section of this video as well. So, you got any questions, comments, or concerns about the Commanders King live event, hit me up. I'll be more than happy to get you squared away and point you in the direction that you need to be pointed. So, with that said, Lang Hughes, who writes, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Lang Hughes writes, JJ trying to negotiate without Micah's agent. Funny as hell. Yeah, and you know what? That was the part that was so disrespectful. And Micah has one of the best agents, most respected ones in the NFL, and David Mulugeta. And for Jerry to be so disrespectful, I don't even know his agent's name. Like, why I need to talk to him? He's a simple middleman. I don't need to talk to him. That's so disrespectful on so many levels. So it's amazing to see how this whole situation has. Okay, I'm going to read you some quotes from Micah Parsons' statements today. Some of these shits are, but it falls in line with what Diana Rossini said to us, right? Some of his statements, he writes, quote, I no longer want to be here. That's a lot different than Terry McLaurin requesting a trade. Terry is frustrated, but he wants to be here. Okay. There's a difference between I want out because you are not trying to pay me and you're not seeing the value in having me here as a member of your organization. That's a lot different than I don't even want your money. I just want out.
That's what I no longer want to be here means. I no longer want to be held to closed door negotiations without my agent present. That's crazy. I no longer want shots taken at me for getting injured while laying on the line for my organization, our fans, and my teammates. That's the crazy one. That's the one that if I was Micah Parsons and I hear my owner say that about me and other teammates that are out here putting their body on the line, and this man is critical of us, and then I got to answer questions from the media 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 20 minutes, an hour and a half after he said this shit about me. That's insane. He said, I have made a tough decision. I no longer want to play for the Dallas Cowboys. My trade request has been submitted to Stephen Jones personally. So there you have it. The Cowboys are a mess, an abject disaster. And as long as Jerry Jones is alive, hell, Steven's going to be just as he's going to be just as insufferable if you're a Cowboys fan. You're stuck. I love it too. I love it. Want more of it. You're stuck. This is what we thought our existence as Commanders fans was going to be. From now into eternity, we thought we were stuck with Daniel Snyder and that type of bullshit. I'm so glad we got out of that game. I hated it there. Cowboys fans, every year they get sold a dream and their own owner pisses on that dream every year with his antics and his nonsensical behavior. And his son is the biggest hype man over there allowing this shit to go down. At some point, you got to step in and say, hey, Dad, you got to chill, bro. He don't have the balls. He don't have the backbone to stand up to Dad. He go along with the shit. I love it. The best player on their team, the best player that franchise has had probably since the triplets. I mean, they got some really good players on their team. Micah Parsons is a future Hall of Famer if he stays healthy. Like, CeeDee Lamb's really good. I don't know if CeeDee Lamb's going to be a future Hall of Famer or not. He's posting really good numbers, but I don't know if he's going to be a Hall of Famer. Like, Micah Parsons is going to be a Hall of Famer if he just stays healthy. And you're running this man out of your organization with your antics? Shit is, it's laughable. You know he wants to play for the Commanders. You know he wants to be reunited with Dan Quinn. And I know for a fact that we trade for him, but one, the Cowboys aren't trading him. That's number one. They don't give a shit about Micah's request. Two, if they do trade him, they're not trading him in the division, let alone the conference. Okay? They're going to get him the hell out of here. He's going to an AFC team. Just like when the Raiders traded Khalil Mack, they traded him to the NFC. I'm not trading you in the conference. Are you crazy? I'm pretty sure teams within their division and the conference called them. It was like, yo, stop hitting my line. Not trading him in the conference. Don't waste your time or your energy. They trade Micah Parsons, they're going to get him the hell up out of the NFC. So any aspirations of us getting our hands on him, hey, don't waste brain cells on some shit that ain't never happening. Ever. Anyway, I digress. All right. And the Cowboys aren't letting him walk away for nothing, where he could just sign with any team. He's not going to be a free agent. They're not taking a third-round compensatory pick for Micah Parsons. Have you lost your mind? If they're gonna walk away, if they're gonna let him go somewhere else, they're gonna be in charge of where he goes, and they're gonna get compensated for it. So again, he's never playing for the Commanders while he's still in the prime of his career. You might get Micah Parsons at age 32 here. You're not getting Micah Parsons at 26. All right. So, or 27, or 28, or 29. So you can put that to bed. All right. You can put that to bed. Anyhow. C's up. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Who writes, DeMarcus Ware or Micah? Micah, without question. Micah. Like, DeMarcus Ware was really good. Obviously, he's a Hall of Famer. You could argue that, DeMarcus was really good, but he got into the Hall of Fame because of what he did in Denver. Like, he won the Super Bowl with Denver, which he did not do in Dallas. I would guess that his best years were in Dallas, but he probably put up some big numbers in Denver too. Let's look at DeMarcus Ware's numbers. I take, like, DeMarcus he didn't come in the league and put up 13 sacks in his first season. I can tell you that right now. Let's see. Yeah, no, DeMarcus, all of his real production came in Dallas. Like, what are we talking about? He spent the first 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 years in Dallas, and he solidified his Hall of Fame career by going to Denver and winning a Super Bowl. But if you just count the sacks he had in Dallas, the man had 116 and a half sacks as a Cowboy. Yeah, I'd say he had already stamped his Hall of Fame ticket before he went to Denver. I think he just solidified it by going to Denver, getting double-digit sacks the first year when people thought he was washed at the end of his Dallas career, and helping them win the Super Bowl. The man had a 20-sack season, a 19 and a half sack season. He had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 straight double-digit sack seasons in a row from 2006 to 2012. Yeah, he was pretty dominant, but I'm still taking Micah Parsons. Micah, so Ware in his first 4 years, and mind you, the 4th year was a 20-sack season, so it skews the numbers a bit. But he's 34, 45 and a half, 53 and a half sacks for DeMarcus Ware in his first 4 seasons. Again, mind you, 20 sacks in 2008. Micah Parsons, I think, has 50 some odd sacks, 52 and a half in his first 4 seasons. And that's not with a 20 sack season. Okay. So the consistency, and again, this is with this man missing 4 games this past year. So I take Micah Parsons in a heartbeat. Take Micah Parsons in a heartbeat. Anyway, I digress. This is why I always encourage people to not throw stones when you live in a glass house. There were quite a few Cowboys fans in the chat yesterday of my live stream, of the Commanders Kings live stream, laughing and pointing their finger at us and ha, 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 look at you. You guys had one good season. You don't know how to act. And now look at them the very next day. If you live in a glass house, please do not throw stones. It's not conducive behavior to not having egg on your face. Anyway, always keep in mind, if you're a Cowboys fan, that Jerry Jones is your owner. Just keep that in mind. Anyway, I digress. That's going to do it for me, your man Louie T, here on this installment of the Command Post Live. You know what it is. Post up. Take command. You guys enjoy your weekend. The Commanders should be back in action tomorrow. So worst case scenario, you might see my face. You may not. Like, I ain't even gonna hold you. It's the weekend. Got shit to do. Going to a concert tomorrow, so I'm gonna be outside a little bit. So you might see me, you might not see me. But either way, enjoy the weekend. All right. Until next time, you guys have a good one. Take care. And let's hope we get some good news with Terry sooner rather than later. Hey, if you're a Commanders fan, it could be worse. You could be a Cowboys fan. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.